Welcome back to Ixion. I have just been doing a little bit of pre-planning and deciding what we're doing with Sector 5, or more accurately to the empty space of Sector 5. I plonked a couple of batteries down here, some cell housing, and this will be an algae farm that stretches sort of up into that corner. And we'll see what else we come up with through the rest of the episode. I'm doing a little bit of resource management, juggling things around, making sure I've got enough people in each sector, so on and so forth, all the usual micromanagement things. And I've just decided I may as well collect at least a bit more of the hydrogen so that I actually fill up the storage yard I have in Sector 2. Not 2. Could have sworn it was 2. Yes, this one. If I can get that full up to 360, I'm quite happy to discard any other hydrogen that I bring along. It's just a case of why sit with this random number. I collected it in the very first solar system. It's serving no purpose, but I'm sure I will need it eventually. It just makes more sense to me to collect a full amount now, so that if I do end up building a fusion plant, I can use it immediately. With that said, this is very much like all of the recent episodes. I'm going to be cutting in and out as I think of something worth saying. Catch you along the way.
Complete.
Okay, interesting little side note here. I'm trying to demolish these two crew quarters and replace them with a better quality one, like a demotic quarter or an optimized quarter. They're not demolishing, and I had to sort of pause and think about what was going on. And the reason, I'm pretty certain, is because this stockpile is so full of alloys that I can't put more alloys anywhere. So let's test that theory. Whoa, not that size. This size. If I just plonk this over here for now, it will immediately start getting constructed. And we can immediately see that this one is now being decommissioned. There's, whoops, 9, 15, sorry, 7 and so forth. Yeah, that is definitely working. Problem solved. Okay, following on from our previous point, I have managed to get all of the alloys out of these buildings, but I also need to get the waste out. That I did not anticipate. I was just assuming it would get discarded the way that sometimes happens with waste. This could be a challenge because I don't think I can fit another stockpile in here. No, I cannot. Right, what we can do is say that's not holding that anymore. I want it to hold this. Watch that happen. Yes, good. Okay. There we go. Problem solved. Again. And since we're doing this on camera, we're looking for, I believe, the demotic quarter, which is the one that has high quality accommodation. Yes. That can pop into that space that we've just cleared, and then we can sort of rinse and repeat as we go along here. What I might do is wait for that to at least start getting constructed before I try and deconstruct these two, but the idea in general is I'm trying to replace shitty housing with good housing. And part of the reason I'm doing this, by the way, is just that we're thawing out so many people that we are sort of approaching our population limits in most sectors. But also, I discovered that if you have the majority of your people in, I think it's demotic housing, that actually adds to their happiness by quite a large extent. +3 from people living mostly in demotic quarters. I did not realize that previously. It sounds like a great idea to me. Let's try and actually achieve that. Then we can start doing things like this. This sector no longer needs intense propaganda. We can actually drop it down to normal. I don't know if I can do that in any of the others right now, but yeah, I could probably do it here. Yeah, in fact, it looks like I could probably do that in most sectors at the moment, especially this one. However, I don't know, can I do it per sector? Yes, I can. Yes, let's try that. And I don't want to get too carried away. I'm just going to do 2 sectors for the time being and see how we go. I just discovered something else interesting too. If your stockpiles are switched off, yes, they won't send out materials to be used, but they can still receive them. That is a very little sort of interesting trick that I did not know, because it means I can probably switch off quite a few of them, because I have quite a number around the place which their existence is merely to receive and then transmit to other sectors. So all of these carbon ones, for example, I don't think I'm actually producing polymers in Sector 1. I think that's actually being pushed elsewhere. So we can switch off probably both of these. And I think the dock will just send out its, I want to say workers, but transit vehicles to fill these stockpiles up anyway. Once they're full, of course, we do have the same problem of they're not going to be sending it off to the other sector though. So we do need to think about that as a problem. But at the moment, the sector that's producing polymers, well, actually I think there's 2 of them, the sectors that are producing polymers have an abundance anyway. So, also, I'm not really trying to collect carbon right now. So we've got some leeway. And you might have missed, I'm currently building another demotic quarter, this time in Sector 4, simply because Sector 4 is over full. And that's happened because we're thawing people out directly here. I'm going to reroute these, I think, to Sector 3 now, because if we look at our population management, Sector 3 has a bit more headroom than it used to, but because we're replacing small buildings with bigger ones. Quite a long time ago, I researched waste treatment plants, and then I never built one. I definitely want to build one, I just don't quite know where I want to put it right at the moment. I think it's just going to go up here, attached to that road that already exists, which leaves us with a bit of an awkward size space in there, but we'll see what we can find to fit there. Now, the reason for wanting a waste treatment plant, aside from the fact it needs some electronics to build, once it is built, it should be able to produce electronics from waste. That, admittedly, is a low yield, 1 electronics for every 50 waste, but considering I really don't need alloys or polymers right now, I'm kind of happy with that ratio. Anything really that gets me electronics faster is a great idea. let's speed up and get this built quickly, and then think about the actual population issue that this sector has as well. This is sector 5. If I remember correctly, we're sending people here already from sector 1. Yes, we are. So the problem will sort itself out over time. Time being relative and all those things. It will sort itself out over time, but I may want to sort of speed up the process. Let's see how many people this building actually
Probe
requires.
has completed its scan.
Talk amongst yourselves while we're waiting for this building to be constructed. It should be happening any minute now. And I think, no, unfortunately we still can't actually see what it does yet. Let's wait for it to be built. Who's impatient? You? No, I'm not impatient. Okay, so it requires 20 people, which is kind of a lot right now. I want to be producing electronics from it, and I need to have a stockpile for the waste. That should be easy enough to achieve. I don't think we can fit the large one there, unfortunately. That would have been quite handy. It would almost fit here, but no. And it's not quite the same size, of course not. It may fit here, but I also want to think about where these are going. Well, that's inconveniently spaced. There we go. If memory serves, this can only do 4 at the moment. It will be able to do 5 if I actually do the research. Therefore, yes, I'm going to end up with annoying roads going everywhere, but so be it. Oops. Given the amount of waste we have now, I think I'm just going to bite the bullet and go for the big one. That bit of road is going to leave me with an annoyingly sized space, but I think I can fit housing in there. Yes, I can. This is the high priority building, thank you. I don't seem to have the option to make it high priority. I will pause this one instead. And the point of this is it's going to hold waste when we can actually click on that button. And since we can't actually work this yet, let's switch that off. We've still got extra hours, but only by 2 people. That should take care of itself shortly. This stockpile, meanwhile, is empty and can be switched off. Or possibly better yet, no, we'll leave it off for the moment. It's probably going to take food shortly, but needs must. Okay, can I click it yet? No. Definitely suffering from impatience today. As you can see, we've uncovered quite a few more potential places to collect resources. I really don't think I'm going to be trying to tap out this entire solar system. I'm going to be going to the next one soonish. I just haven't pulled the trigger yet. I haven't actually completed the battery requirement. I'm very close to it. I believe it's only Sector 5 that is lacking. And if we look at the batteries, it's going to be an awkward size that doesn't fit nicely. It does fit here, however, so that kind of works. Why is it not letting... Oh, okay. That's what your problem is. That being the case, I'm going to make this food, and this one will be waste once I'm able to do that. But in order to do that, I first need waste recycling. Now I may be able to click it. There we go. And also, if we look at waste, we absolutely want... This is Sector 5, yes. We absolutely want to switch that button on and say waste should be collected. That should help my cause quite a lot, because I'm producing a, let's say, infinite amount of waste at this point. Incoming transmission. Okay, cool. Story events.
Ixion is ready to perform a volt jump on your order.
Yes. Yes, it is. I don't plan to do it just yet, thank you, but yes, we are ready to jump in theory. This is not being built because it's not powered. Okay, fair enough. And we've still got not enough workers here. Fine. Let's think about this and actually solve the problem in a bit of a jump. Who has too many workers? Sector 3 has tons more than it needs right now, but there's a reason for that. I ran out of silicon. I can actually switch that back on now too. Sector 6 is a similar story, but Sector 6 has more than 5. So if we go 6 through to 5, just some workers, let's move 20. That should solve the immediate problem, and then I can take care of the longer term problem with just thawing people out. We have silicon now, this can be switched back on. This one can also be switched back on. And we can resume making electronics. Hurrah!
Population transfer complete.
Right. Sector 5 should have... Good. Enough people to switch that on, hopefully. Which means that the alloys can be put into building the actual fields, for want of a better term. Plantations, I guess. Yes. And I still don't have enough people to work this, but we won't be far off. No, I don't really want to wait at the moment. I've switched on the other buildings. Let's look again. You've got 40-ish. You've got not many. Yeah, okay. Sector 1 to Sector 5. Specifically some workers. Let's send another 20 across. That'll get me into the positives.
Population transfer complete.
And now we can switch on this waste treatment center and very slightly increase the rate that we're producing electronics. Speaking of which, I also researched nanofilters to speed that up slightly. And I haven't yet looked at what these do. Power cost reduced, that would be kind of nice. Yeah, I don't really have concerns about alloys or polymers at the moment. I don't care about those options. Reducing the power might be nice, but not a big deal. And we still don't have enough people, but it's only by one. I'm sure that will get taken care of soon. Such as... Nope. Such as when one of these people gets thought out and happens to be a worker. And I'm actually getting close to not having more chronocpods to thaw out. That's a novel concept. I believe I got up to somewhere near 1,000. So getting them back down under 300, pretty big deal. And that might actually be my tipping point for when I will move to the next solar system.
You can implement a new policy.
Okay, we have collected more than enough of the hydrogen now. So I will allow that to finish getting put into the storage yard and check on what's happening in Sector 6 because there's apparently a fire over here. Thankfully, this is one of the sectors that does have a fire station. That makes a nice change. Not much I can really do about this. It's just automated stuff that I don't need to really pay attention to. Sector 2 has 360 hydrogen. I can now figure out possibly how to discard this. There was a way, I'm sure of it. Maybe it is by that button there. Right, okay. So I might not be able to do it directly from the docking bay. That is okay. If I jump it in here for the moment, or not that one in fact, switch that one off. This one's right there. Make this hold hydrogen and switch it on. And boom, don't need that, goodbye. That can be switched off, that can be switched off. Excellent. I'm going to cut the episode here, and in the next one I'm hoping I will be emboldened enough to make the next vol jump. Until then, bye bye.